Hello out there, casual fanatics. Jeremy here, and I just wanted to take a little time to go a little off the cuff and kind of do a little casual vlog here for the day after Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you'll be able to see this while you're out and about fighting the crowds, or not if you're the more intelligent bent, or less suicidal bent, really. Uh, um, I just want to come back and a month in kind of catch based on how things are going in with my Patreon. I've had Patreon going for almost an entire month now, 4 weeks. And so far, I do have one patron, someone, a Twitter friend of mine, Bell's Call, at Bell's Call on Twitter, pledge $1 a month. So currently our Patreon is sitting at $1 a month. And honestly, I didn't think I would. I did not think necessarily that I would get to the $50 a month range that quickly, especially not at my level of relative level of unpopularity or lack of popularity on YouTube and on Twitch. But I did expect to be further along than that. And I do appreciate Bell's Call for being the first patron here, the inaugural patron. At the same time, I look at my bank account and I consider all the stuff that I pay for on a regular basis. And let me just give you the approximate breakdown here. My rent is $590 a month. My car and renter's insurance combined are about $100. My phone bill, which partially because I'm still paying off my 5S, is around $130. My car payment is $254. And I am having to pay some money, like $75 a month, to a bunch of lawyers down in Dallas because of hospital type stuff. And that's not even counting the medical bills that I have had from getting checked out to see if there was anything wrong with me after mold, which has finally been taken care of. Here, finally got the mold rid out of my apartment. And, of course, my most recent bout of flu over this past weekend. And what I'm going to say, I know is going to sound like I'm sounding harsh. There's not really a way to avoid that. And to some of you, it may end up coming out sounding like I'm just being gripey and whiny and trying to guilt trip you. Please know that that is not what I'm intending here. I am not trying to manipulate people. At least I would hope that I'm not trying to manipulate people. I pride myself on self-awareness, but if I were to say I am completely self-aware, I would be lying. No one is. No one has perfect knowledge of themselves. Certainly not in this life, at least. I look at everything that I have to pay for. I look at the paychecks that I'm getting from my current job. And especially with the things that has happened to me recently, even accounting for some vacation time that has been tacked on that I have had to take to counterbalance some of the days that I've missed. And my paychecks are not enough to help me survive on my own. They're barely enough to cover what I can do right now, and even then, for instance, this current rent paycheck, after my insurances and my rent check and my rent, I've got next to nothing left. And yes, there's also a lot that does go into that. There's a lot of unnecessary expenditures that I have cut out in the past, and that I could still cut out. Even accounting for those, it doesn't make up nearly enough to, say, take over my electricity and internet when my brother leaves, and he will be moving out when he gets married. I hate to reiterate that from my original promotional video, but it's a thing that's going to happen. And by my calculations, I am going to need about $200 to $250 to be able to cover just that. That's not even accounting for, being able to do grocery shopping or being able to go out to eat. There are a lot of things that I am just struggling to try to do right now. And we've done everything that we can around here. Robert and we've done everything that we can to try and, help out with that. There is a food pantry around here that we do get food from about every 30 days or so. And, that's not something that you hear normally people talk about them having to do. The reason why I'm bringing it up is I'm trying to get across my situation, why I created the Patreon, and why I not just could use your support, why I need it. I like my job, and I'm not seeking to get rid of my job at any point. If there was some way I could step up into a higher role at my job that paid enough to cover the amount that I think that I need, and not get an overabundance of stress added onto it, then I would readily do so. I've already had to step down a role largely because of the role that I was in. I had been in that role for 3 months, and it just took so much life out of me, and energy, and sanity. I was just so I decided to start the Patreon last month in hopes that maybe that I can use this to help counterbalance, because some of you might be saying, well, go out and get a second job. You know what there's out around here that I could do that's for a second job? Fast food and retail. And I'm not knocking those jobs in and of themselves. If you work at those and you love those jobs, great for you. I've been there. And it was hell. I've been in retail. I can't go back to retail. Because once you spend a combined total of about 2.5, almost 3 years in a place, and you're just so, you come out of it just so angry and twisted and dark inside, so wasted to your core, you don't want to go back to that. So really my options would be to try and find a job around here that does pay better, which I'm reluctant to do mostly because I like the job that I have, or find something completely different that I can do that I could possibly make money at. And I believe making videos can be that. I want to make that happen. I've spent the last 4 weeks trying to live up to my promises on Patreon. Whether I have succeeded to that or not, I will leave to you. As a personal measure of standard, I believe that I have, because I have gotten out videos consistently on Patreon, and I have been able to get them set up to where Patreon people do get them first. I haven't been uploading them to Twitch, admittedly, but no one was watching them on Twitch. So uploading them to Twitch uploads really was more energy for less reward. So I'm probably not going to do that moving forward. At least not for quite some time. Not until I build up a following on Twitch. And it hurt me not being able to get a stream out this week. At the same time, not being able to stream, I mean, really, that was just on my physical well-being. That was on me being sick. So, on being sick is a demoralizing factor. However, I did crank out a full 7 episodes of Mass Effect this week. That's right. For any of you who do subscribe to Patreon, you are going to get episode 27 on Saturday. So I I didn't use my sickness entirely as a crutch, but I did, because I did want to do something even if I couldn't stream. So I decided I would go a little bit of an extra mile and give you an additional episode of Mass Effect. So on Patreon, episode 27 will be out on Saturday. For the rest of you, it'll be out Sunday morning. So there's a little incentive for you. I am going to stream this coming weekend. It's not going to be on Saturday, mostly because I have some time to make up from my illness, so I have to work on Saturday. But I do still have Sunday and Monday off, and I am going to make the most of those days. I am going to stream on Sunday. I am going to record on Monday, and I'm going to get back into my groove now that I finally have kicked the flu. So, there you go. But, yeah, the main crux of this video is it's not just a matter of me feeling like I want to, get paid for just playing video games on the internet. I'm trying to make a life for myself. I have said it in the past, and I continue to believe it is so. I live in an area that I live in a town that I actually legitimately like. I am on my own. Truly on my own. For the first time in forever. This is not something that I want to have taken away from me. I take great pride, even if I did have to have my brother's help to do it, I take very great pride in the fact that this is where I am. That I have been in this place for a year now. That I have lived in this town, in this very place, for an entire year. That I have a job that barring the last few months, I am actually good at. And that I can be reasonably certain that there's very little I can do to screw it up. If that were able to sustain me, I would not be saying these things right now that I'm saying. I would not be saying that I pretty much am riding on the support of the casual fanatics. Believe me, I would love to be able to do it entirely by myself. The math just does not add up. Even if I took away everything, every extra thing, I would still need my car. And especially since I'm streaming, I would still need a good internet connection. And without electricity, of course, having a good internet connection is useless. I still need to eat. And every now and again, when my very mortal body fails me in some way, I need to be able to bring that back up into shape. And unfortunately, in this world that we live in, and especially in this country that I live in, that is on such shaky ground right now, that takes money. My health insurance is more costly now. It's taking a bigger bite out of my paycheck. And the last time I worked a significant amount of overtime at my job, I got laryngitis. And for both my job and for this, having laryngitis, not something I can afford to have. So, I mean, I'm going to link it down in the description right there. Because this isn't just, a vanity thing for me. This isn't just, I've seen other people make money off of the internet, off of doing video type stuff. I should be able to do that. It's not about that for me. This is about finding some way that I can give of myself or get something in return for it so that I can continue to survive. I don't think I got that across quite well enough in my intro video. And a month out, I think it bears reiterating. This is about survival for me. And I need your help. Keep it casual, y'all.